Well, guys, hello again. It's Geri Tumbasz and Paul from Ski Instructor Academy. As you know, we're fighting our way through the comments and picking up, and as the series goes through, the comments actually get more and more interesting and more in depth. So stick around, because there's some great information for you guys to pick up on, and hopefully soon we'll be able to tie these in with videos and also stuff on the piste as well. So we're going to pick up with the comment regarding Alpine basic position. So Richard, he obviously is he's an English and German speaker by the looks of it. And he's asking about the fact that Geri and I have both referred to it sometimes as a behavior on the ski. And I think what that actually means is it's almost like, because of the forces and the position or the forces coming through the ski, your body has to settle into a certain position to optimize its balance at any point on the platform. And he goes on for a while to say, surely the better description, Geri, would be Alpine basic movement flow. Would you say that? Yes, there we are. We agree with you, Richard, on that one. We would say that would be a better description of the movement. But like you say, it's a bit long-winded.
But completely, because this is the point. We are talking about skiing. Skiing is a dynamic sport. We want to improve people to get more dynamic. So dynamic skiing means dynamic balance. It's not just standing on one leg. It's a moving platform. So in every second in the turn, in every tenth of the second, you need another position, another alignment to be in balance. But in that moment, you are out of balance. So this is the play around with your balance. So it's not a frozen shape. Immediately, if someone skis the frozen shape in a one turn, it just looks passive.
Mm-hmm. It's parking and riding, basically.
Yeah, it's like being a passenger.
Yeah.
And this is what we call being a passenger, because there's no fore-aft movement. There is no building up edge angle. No edge angle building up more than you have no pressure, because you have no short. So it's going on. The dynamic is missing immediately. And that's the point, that if someone skis in a shape form, because in the book is that picture and I need this, it's just traveling down with the ski.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, because I was going to say that the issue being, folks, is you've probably, most of you, seen a picture of Alpine basic position at some point with the parallel axis drawn in.
That's it.
And we see this. I actually was videoing instructors up on the mountain the other day that were demonstrating this to students, not our instructors, and they were doing exactly what you said. They were going into a position and the ski was going across the hill, and they were desperately trying to show this hip angulated position, and that was what it was. It was just static.
Yeah, and the second thing is that we have the school. So we have two kinds of skiing or technique. The one is it's mainly different. One is that you have the drifted turn, so you have a factor then that the ski slides a little bit and drifting, let's say sideways, and you have a carved turn when the platform goes along the radius, so to the ski tip, and you need to adjust this in your skiing. So as you get more dynamic, you have more balance, you have more, you need more movements, more dynamic movements, and then gets this Alpine basic position. It's never a position, it gets a movement flow that to keep you.
Because even when going slow across the hill, folks, yes, from a macro point, people may look like they're just static in an angulation, but even at that slow speed, there are micro movements always adapting. And normally it's the uphill ski having to adapt as well to the changing angle of the slope, and your feet in pronation have to adapt within that plastic boot that you can't see through. You can't see what people are doing.
Yeah.
So don't ever think that Alpine basic position with all these photos you see and people insert, that's a position you have to force yourself into. Positions are good, but it's more what Richard was saying. It's a behavior, it's a pattern, it's something that happens as a result of what's happening down at the ski.
And this is it. That's what we talked about and what we did in Bariloche, and showed that you can build that from the skiing if there is a good balance, a good edging, a good drift that turns, and with more pressure on the outside ski, then probably you are already in kind of good alpine basic position, let's say.
Yeah. It's a natural position. It's a
natural-
side effect of the
Yeah.
position on the foot.
Yeah.
Good. We move on to Lawrence Hicks. We quickly looked at your comment, Lawrence, and we have no idea who Josh Foster is, sorry, but we didn't even have time to look at his video. But we were a little confused. Sometimes, guys, I know you're writing these comments away and you're typing away enthusiastically, and it probably makes sense in your head. But reading Lawrence's comment, obviously, it doesn't quite make sense to us because you mentioned in order to perform this correctly with properly sized poles, you must angulate by bending your knees, ankles and waist to move your chest forward, which confused us because there's not always that knee angulation in a turn. It's there present in certain turns. So that sort of confuses us as to what this is, unless you have any ideas.
No, I don't want to discuss about because I don't understand exactly what he means about knee angulation or
Yeah.
because it's a task that if you do much more with your shins and the knee, then the hip goes out. So I want to have it on the slope. Let's do it on the slope.
Yeah, we'll look at that one on the slope because I think what Geri's pointing out as well is that, we're overusing these knees as hip rotation and so maybe we're a little bit off there. Great, Double Think's got himself telescopic poles, which I do have as well, which are quite good to use. So Double Think, it's interesting because I think this was a video where one of the guys in my group, maybe from the passive eye, can look actually like, oh wow, he's a really good skier. So if you watch the video, once again, the link's there. If you watch the video, there's a guy in an orange and black jacket that we both know as Joe. And he seems to be like strides ahead of the rest of the group. You pointed out a few times here. But as Geri and I were talking about, it's not quite as simple as that, is it, Geri? Because we need to look at what's going on, what he's wearing, etc.
Yeah, he had a kids ski, 150 long slalom ski for that height. He was
he's also a heavier lad as well,
and always maybe the same technique down.
Yeah, this is the issue, guys. If you go on to such a short ski, what tends to happen is, it's easier to ride the edge. You find the middle because it's a short ski, so you do adapt. It's softer, it's easier for you. But the biggest problem we find is that the progression then. The guy ends up skiing the same all the time. They find it hard to break into something new, and that's why here now and again we want to I did it. I used to always ski in a slalom ski because I came from Basie and I came from the New Zealand system. They're all on slalom skis, so you just think, buy a slalom ski. And it wasn't until I came to Austria and then you started skiing on, people would be taking the piss out of you because you're on slalom skis, Spielzeug, and blah blah.
I get it always.
Yeah.
These are days also.
Yeah. But to be fair, it forced me into longer ski. And of course, suddenly, you can't just throw yourself inside like you could do before. You've got this, you have to have a patience. But on top of that, it was interesting for me because actually it made me realize that skiing on a slalom ski is harder in Austria because if it's icy, the last thing you want is a slalom ski because your back at the end of the day is taking a pounding. Whereas on a nice 185 ski, you've got lots of length. You can use both edges on the icy slopes. But yeah, I felt Joe, it was difficult for him because he turned up with that ski. It was too late. He couldn't do anything about it. But I find it restricts people and stops the progression path.
Yeah. I was in another system, in the Hungarian system in the 90s, and there was the same. Slalom skis everywhere, and I started the Austrian system with the GS. That was another word. So that I learned new to turn the ski. I learned the tip turning, toe turning, all this stuff with the 180 ski. And Then back to the slalom ski these days, because it's more dynamic, tiring. It's like cardio training, but also learning timing, that you in a quick movement find the ski and ride the ski in that turn and then release at the moment you need. It's a really good training. So I always change the skis. But yeah, to learn skiing from the school steps, with a longer ski, with a 18-meter radius or something around, it helps a lot to understand skiing, how it works.
Yeah. I mean, we had one of the trainers got in touch with me yesterday, and he was saying, "Oh, can I switch this guy's ski because he's I'm having a bit of a problem. Can I switch this guy's ski because it would suit him to have a shorter ski? He's on a 177." 80 millimeter underfoot, because he's going to go and work in Japan, so he's been sold like a slightly softer ski, but he's quite light, and he's only about 175. But that ski anyway will be a rocker, because it's probably only 150 of it touching the ground anyway. So I said, no. I said, look, he's chose to want to be on that ski anyway. He's been offered a slalom or that, but because he's going to Japan, it sort of makes sense. A bit wider ski underfoot. He's going to be having, hopefully, powder conditions, soft snow. So the ski makes sense. But yes, he's going to struggle now for maybe 3-4 days until he gets used to that length of the ski. That's the problem. And a lot of people give up too quick. And they'll go, just go to a shorter ski. You know, before you know it, you're on blades or something, you know. So, as Geri says, it really throws people, and I've discussed this before, but that people who only ski slalom skis, very, very good skiers, I've saw them completely fall apart when they put on a longer ski.
Because you get lazy. So you forget how to turn, how much force how much impulse you need to turn the tip in the direction and making round turns, and it needs time to get back to movement.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, as Geri, he changes ski to ski, but funny enough, I got a couple of new skis off the sponsors, and I was saying, they're going, what do you want? And I went, actually, I'll take another slalom. For several reasons. One, because I think Geri and I have realised that in Argentina they love slaloms and you can sell them. So I'm taking lots of slaloms with us.
That's just good.
You'll see us with 3 pairs of slaloms in Argentina next year. But also because I thought, why not go back to the slalom? You know, it is fun. It is a workout.
It's a workout. It's a workout,
cool.
and it's fun. And you have another move. It's like other power of boot again. So with a long ski, for example, I like to ski short turns, run short turns with the 30-meter radius GS ski, because it's so nice. The ski is soft in the tip.
Yeah.
You can bend the ski. You can really train how to bend the ski in the front, like dolphin. Is a classic dolphin turn.
There's a good example. But just well, Geri, I'm going to stop him, because a dolphin turn on a stiff slalom ski is a pain in the backside. But when you've got a GS ski, it's cool.
You have all the time to do this, because it's that long. It's soft in the tip, so you can really enjoy that skiing. With a slalom ski, you have a little bit shorter time, aggressive ski, aggressive grip. If the timing that's another sport.
Definitely.
But it's good. It's a good training.
So guys, just to double back here and double think, yes, you identified and thought he was this awesome skier, which, don't get me wrong, the guy's a nice skier, he was a clean skier, but he could never really progress unless he really got onto that long ski. You know, he was always going to ski same, even when you tried to get him to do different things, it was same, because the ski was the problem. Anyway, Richard, you're on about, on my video where Geri was critiquing my lesson, I think we were talking about round turn shapes, patience into the turn. You know, I always say that people tend to turn at the top of the turn too quick, and then the skis, you know, it ends up washing out. But you brightly point out, what role does speed play in this? First of all, and then you point out as well is, you know, how do you persuade the skiers not to rush the top of the turn? First, as Geri and I have already said, I think in the Argentinian videos as well, speed is so important at the top of the turn. If you don't get speed and you're killing the speed at the top of the turn, then that's why everything feels wrong and fast afterwards, because you've killed the speed at the top of the turn. You need to learn and you need to teach people to feel comfortable allowing the ski to generate force and speed. Otherwise, how can I bend the ski if I have got no force? How can I pressure it?
Every technique has an ideal speed to do. So especially with the parallel skiing and getting the turn, the patience to just give time to the ski to catch up some speed, what you need to steer out the turn. This is a main point, an important point. Now I have a guest who's exactly the same. That she rushes the turn, actually not even rushing the turn, enter the turn and set the ski in braking position, and then it's no turn shape anymore. So we worked on it the same way. That give time the ski, catch up some speed, and then you steer uphill with the tip. You slow down again. This is skiing with more speed and control it and learn to control it. Then you have the chance to enjoy a little bit this.
And you'll find, folks, that it was one comment later on, it'll come up, and it was saying something about my skiing that compared with the group, you can see how Paul's skis, engage the edges and go into reverse camber and stuff. Even at the slower, it wasn't that fast of a parallel turn. But that's all to do with how that enter phase is. If you enter the tunnel in a bad position, you'll come out the tunnel at the other end in a bad position. It's really, most things screw up at the start, and everything else is just a byproduct and an effect of the cause, which was above the fall line. If you're above the fall line, stacked pretty good, and you've been patient, normally you come out the other side fantastic on these modern day skis that are built to create turn shape. And if you remember, I didn't get to post, I think, all of the lesson, but Geri did a lesson with the older guys, and they were really struggling to get that, the skis on the edge. They spent ages trying to build that up because that discipline was so important to them guys. They had to feel that.
This engage the edge and turning on the edge.
So, guys, we're going to do one more before we, which I'm saying one more, it'll take us forever to do it, but I'll not even pronounce the name. So, beautiful series. Right, I just finished my level 3 now, okay? I did them all with SBSSV. So, SBSSV is the Salzburger Association. It's a ski association here in Austria. I wish I'd done them with SIA. Hey! All right, thanks for that. With the Salzburger Association, it feels like a typical ski course, drill into drill without any explanation on why and how. And he goes on to say, not trying to take it away from the Ausbilder, that's the trainer, the coach. They were amazing skiers, but they sucked as coaches. Almost all the progression I made was self-assessed by watching videos like yours. Hats off. Now, first of all, in defense of the Salzburger Association and the guys there, we know some of them, obviously, we work together with them on the hills. They're in that restriction that we were trying to explain to Christian. They've got a 10-day gap to try and get people through an advert, of which 6 days is messing about kids or something. Now, he did a level 3, however, Geri. So he would have been doing, you would hope, more skiing. Now, I don't know if he's talking level 3 as in Landis 2 or level 3 as in Landis 1, part of the level, but both of them are very ski orientated. But of course, I think both Geri and I are the same. What do you think about that comment then, Geri?
I don't wanna switch off.
Switch it off.
No. It's any kind of these training courses, whether you have 10 days or 6 days, it's just a plan, and you go the steps, the methodical steps, and of course we want to that you understand the steps why, but it's a really short time, a really basic program to get through, and drill after drill and drill after drill, and
it's hard, isn't it?
It's hard.
As a coach in an exam, it's hard in a 10-day period.
When I was actively at the Anwerter courses, it's so massive
list of things you've got to tick off.
Things you have to do, and also just try to interpret it, let the guys understanding what's going on. And also in the evening you have the theory lessons to the practice part. So I don't want to actually discuss about it
because we don't know. We can't criticize what we don't know.
I was in the same position that 10 years long I did the same. That okay, I have a program to do. Of course, I try to do the best I can, but yes, there is a problem that is a short time, no time really for skiing, but for many people it's hard to improve because it's always the new drill, new drill, a new step going forward with the course. So if someone is a good skier, can enjoy and had a good week and can improve as well in that time, some people it's not that good, or they have to change something, some behaviors in the movement. It's not enough time for this.
Yeah, which comes back to a podcast I did a while ago where I said how many people now are actually going to the exam and that's it. When I learned to ski, I did preparation. I would go on course and clinic and camp, and I would do, for example, to get to my ISIA level, like the international level, I am sure I did at least 6 or 7 weeks training with good coaches. Whereas most people now, when I look at students going through, only the ones coming with SIA do a preparation. Most people will just be working in a ski school and then hope they'll get through the Landis 1. And then they'll work another 2 seasons and then they'll hope they'll get through the Landis 2 without any training. That's difficult. And then you put pressure on the coach and examiner because he's expecting you to arrive ready.
Yes, so this is the point actually, that there are many people, they entering the course without having a lesson before. So sometimes I just ask the guys wherever they come that, okay, who and when took a lesson in a ski school last time, and barely someone did. So that is next question. Okay, why do you think that ski instructing is a nice job to do? So if you have not even the experience from the other side, and there is no preparation, so they facing the problems first time at the course that, okay, I need this Alpine basic position and so it's really hard to get someone be better
and we have
improve.
On top of that, we have companies, they're not like SIA, where we encourage people, even for an anverter, to do at least 20 days of preparation. Now, a lot of people, of course, especially nowadays, they just want to go straight to the exam and save money. But when they arrive at the exam like that, their chance of passing is probably about 30%. But on top of that, it puts great stress on the trainer because he might get 6 or 7 guys who've done 20 days preparation and 3 guys who haven't got a clue. They know nothing about plough turns, they know nothing about the lesson planning, they know nothing about the theory. And you've now got a situation where they've got 10 days to literally do everything. And what happens then, of course, is they find themselves falling and focusing on either these 3 people who are way behind, or some coaches will just go, I'm not interested. I'm going to concentrate on the ones that are going to get through.
And this is it, that a ski instructor course, the 10 days and the exam course, it's not a classic ski course.
No.
It's not like you go and you be better. It's actually, you can ski, you know what's going on theoretically, and then you learn how to instruct this. And this is, I think, the main point that we have the problem that many people think, okay, I want to reach that goal because it's cool and then I have the level without having a lesson before. So the first time, if you don't go to the driving exam without sitting in the car and, okay, how to change the gear. So it's nearly the same.
Yeah. It is. And it was interesting because a guy coming from America, I think his daughter's already just done a course with us, and he went, I'm going to come and do it. I'll do your fast tracks program. And we have this fast tracks program, and we only have it there because of disruptors basically within the industry who are doing these crazy fast tracks programs, 2 days training straight into an anverter or 1 day in an anverter. So we have to offer it because everybody else does. But I said to the guy, forget doing the ANVIT. Just come and do 10 days camp. Do a clinic. You're going to learn so much more. And you're not going to be standing around listening to lesson planning and...
But this is it. Exactly. This is the luxury of a technical camp, that it can be much more student focused.
Yeah. Christian?
This is one. The second is, if the half of group struggling with the plow turn or with the parallel turn or with the mogul skiing, whatever, said we have the chance to go in this team more and more and building up and go personally to each student to give some tips and really focus on improving and not focusing on get through the program because I have to do today the stem turns, otherwise I have no time enough. And my experience from this is I did an Anverta courses a lot of times, many times. Then the Landes one is the first part of the Landes course. It's the nicest course because you have just mogul skiing, GS, off-piste, and parallel turns, and really learning dynamic skiing. There can be some improvement, and everyone is happy because they have already the level to the Anverta, so they know exactly what we're talking about. But these 10 days are just learning new things, techniques, and improve. And then they head into the Landes 2. And I hated the Landes 2. Yeah. I did a few times, but there is really like drill. We have that much time for mogul, that much time. And if someone is struggling with something, there is no time
to help them.
No. And that was for me the worst feeling ever.
Again, though, Geri, this is Landes 2, which is, just so you guys understand, that's ISIA equivalent, level 3. And you would expect them to know this, though, when they arrive on an exam like that. But if they don't...
But they're rushing through.
They're going too fast, which is the other podcast we've talked about. People are going from 0 to level 3 in 2-3 seasons. Not going to happen. It shouldn't happen. It should be... because let's face it, even if they can do it from a ski point of view, Geri, let's say they've come from a racing background, awesome skier, but yet they're going to qualify as a level 3 ISIA, international style instructor. But what teaching and coaching can he give to other people?
Yeah,
he's got no background to him.
Yeah, but actually this experience you have if you join some lessons.
Yeah, and from an experienced coach. Yeah, which is what I keep saying, guys. To me, a coach he's somebody next door, but equally, he's usually a really good high-end coach. He's at least 35, heading into 60, 70 years old. He's got this wealth of experience that he can bring to you. But that's another subject. Hey, guys, it's been a good one. We're going to leave it and move to the next comments from Geri and I. Bye for now.